Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get this started again because it puttered out on me. So we're gonna try this again. Power went out. They must have been doing a little bit of maintenance. It was out for probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, give or take. The local power company was right on it. As soon as the power went out, I mean, less than about a minute later, it popped. We know the power's out, so I'm thinking they had a little repair fix they needed to do that wasn't a scheduled maintenance thing. So took about 15, 20 minutes, powered back on. So anyways, let's pick up where we left off. As I said in the first part, I used the Debro piece and it worked really well. But with no prep, this stuff's going to be really high speed, high RPM tires, high RPM revolutions, a lot of rotational mass, so, with these tires for the size. So balancing your tires is going to be important. So I looked around and found a JConcepts. They're pretty much like finding, hen's teeth or, getting a tooth out of a dinosaur at the bottom of the La Brea tar pits. Not very popular, very, abundant. I want to say popular, very abundant right now because everybody's got them bought up. They're pricey. They're $74. I think it was $72.99, $73.99 for the JConcepts piece. But it's made in America, or at least made by an American company for an American company. This is the 1/8 and 1/10 scale, so it does both 8th and 10th scales. Though I'll probably pretty much use it in 8 or 10th scale because I don't run 8 scale stuff for the most part. I'm gonna need some eyes, right where I left them on top of my head. All right, so let's take a look. Nice black finish, obviously. Pretty simple little unit. We peel our retainer screw out. I believe that comes off. Did I give anything? Nothing. Show anything on the back? Nothing. No pictures. Uh-oh. This could get dangerous without pictures. I believe that comes out there. And this one goes here on the back side now. And not on the back side, maybe on the front side. And it locks it upward in the upward position, I believe. Shamazel. Seems like I should hold it tighter than that, though. And snug that up just a little bit. No too big. Let's try. Tight. Yeah, they're tight. It's got a little wiggle, but overall not bad. So, and this, I believe, you thread right into here. Note direction. Yep. Make sure you put it on the right. Put it on the back side. All right. So just pop our piece off. Does that fit right in there? Right in there. Let's go ahead and balance these front ones and see what we get. Something's a little not straight. It was something I've noticed when people talk about balancing tires. They throw their tire on their balancer and roll it, and it's out of whack. Not realizing, unless it's got a 12mm hex that the hex itself is sitting in, most of these conical non-hex type systems, when you put the tire, see, I can move that tire around a little bit, and that looks terrible. The same thing there. It's a little better, but you got to get that tire, set right. And this is the little trick sometimes with these things, is figuring out the little kinks on how they like to work. See, this is a non-hex tire too. This is the from Funny Car. If I can go on this way with it, see if that makes it any better. I don't think it will. You still move it around. So that people talk about the rims being out of whack. It may not be the rim. It just may be the way the tire is set on their balancer. There we go. Look at that. Once you get it in place, see, now look at it. Nice and smooth, like it should be. So, there's something to be aware of when people are doing their tire balancing, is make sure your tire is actually squared on your balancer. Just because it's on there doesn't mean it's going to spin true and smooth. I've seen a lot of people complaining, what are you going to do about this rim? And the tire is doing it. May not be the rim, guys or gals. It could be the way the rim's just mounted on the balancer right there. So you got to be very particular and ensure that you get the tire set so it's set up right. That seems like it should. According to this thing's in balance. Seems like it should get a better smooth spin out of that. But that appears to be at least so light and close that it might not make a difference. Let me try the other one. Let me try it again this way. It's got a lot more movement that way. Try to get her. That's pretty good. So your tires rims may not be out of whack. This thing spins smooth, but it seems like either these tires are too light to really affect it. I tell you, the bro worked a little smoother. Man, may be a smart idea to put ceramic bearings in, but I'm telling you, for $75, you would think it has ceramic bearings. And so I'm going to say that. Because there was one thing about the prop balancer from DeBro, is that sucker is smooth. Let me go to a bigger tire here and see what we can do. It's got substantially more weight on it. Unless, or I'm using this thing wrong, maybe. That's always a chance. So there's this setup. There's our bearings. Those look like a 8x2x6 maybe. I have to take them out to take a look for sure. Let me take it apart here and we'll clean her up a little bit. I'll put a little mousse slick in those bearings in there and see if we can smooth her up a tad. I still have that. Oh. this out. So I have to get a good hold of it. Because yeah, this should, it rolls smoothly, but those bearings don't feel the smoothest. Pop this puppy off gently. These look like cute bearings for like the bell crank on a slash, banded, or your typical Traxxas bell crank. And they're 10 scale stuff anyways. Come on. So yeah, I can see these are just a steel shielded bearing. They look like a nice bearing, but they do feel a little, it's a shaft piece here. There it is. Not bad. No, I don't have a set of ceramics in this size. Although I can probably get a set coming. That would, I think, would make a huge difference. But what I do have is a few sets. I got bearings that came with the NPRC bell cranks and some stock bearings, and then the stock bearings I took out when I would put the fast eddy bearings in. So let me see if I can find a slightly smoother set of. Yeah, I think those are going to be 8 by 2 by 4s maybe. I've got a couple options here. Got another set. Make sure those are the same. Yeah, they look the same. So I got, I think, 3 different options. I got the Traxxas, which are the blues. I believe the STRCs that I have in here are the black units. And yeah, these are even slightly different one. Let's see, I got these open. Let's see how these Traxxas feel. Not the same, a little better. Not that one though. It feels locked up. Bearing. We're just going to dump that one. Locked up and didn't want to spin it off. It feels pretty smooth. That was a stock Traxxas bearing. This one looks messed up too. Yeah. Trash those two. Let's take a look at these STRCs. Brand new, not been in anything, so I think these would be pretty decent, or should be pretty decent feeling. Yeah, we're gonna go with those. Uno, dos. Oh. Yeah, those feel a bit smoother than these ones did. Just feel smooth, but they got a little rough. That one's not as bad. Yeah, bell crank, they'll work. I'll leave them for spares. So, one last thing to do here. Let's give these things a little shot of slick. Time, kitty. Kitty wants her food. Let's see. The old cow RC muesli. This stuff, I like it. It's a Teflon spray, so it will get in there pretty decently. Okay. There's that. There we go. That's spinning smoother in that side just with one. Back of this one. All right, now this went in this side. No, it didn't. It went in there. This went in here. And then you can spin that. I guess you can't spin that around. It goes like that. Okay, this thing actually spins around here. That's what you would do. Okay, I think I got it. So pop this out. Put our screw back in place. So you actually just flip this around like you got a wheel hex. That's where your wheels, you take that part off and boom. Your nut goes on and you put that on and you're on your 8th scale wheel. Tighten her down. screw in. That's better. Way more smooth than it was. Let's see what we can do with this one here now. So we gotta get it straight. Tricky getting these things to be squared on this tire without a hex. The Exceed unit, I think, has hexes. That's pretty close. Right. Pretty close. That's rolling a lot better with those bearings. And we can see a heavy spot. So if I had a little blue tack, right now would be the where you'd add just a dab on the top side, opposite. Heavy side's going to settle low, obviously. But it still would be nice to see that spin even smoother. So in level surface, I'm not exactly level here, which is why I wish this thing did tighten up. So I might throw a couple shims in there just to add some tension. So when it's up, it's up. Maybe something underneath to kind of push it apart. Seems like that you're going a little bit snugger in there so it stays a little bit tighter. But yeah, you can at least see some balancing going on now. So yeah, I would suggest replacing the bearings if you buy one. They're just the stock bell crank bearings out of a Traxxas Slash or Bandit. I think that's a number 8x2x4. Might be 8x3x4. At any rate, I'm just gonna trash those two. Nah, I'll keep them. These other Traxxas bearings weren't too bad, but yeah, I had these STRC bearings and they worked out pretty well. But if you really want to get finicky, yeah, buy ceramics, and I probably will. I've got a couple sets, or yeah, a set of bearings coming from Justin over at Backyard. He has to get them in, so I'll probably hit them up, and if they haven't shipped yet, I'll have them add a couple of these little ones here and the ceramics that he's got and run those in it. And that'll stop me from falling out. All right. Throw that over there. That can come over here for now. So yeah, nice little unit otherwise. I mean, I like the design. I would have been nice to see, like on the back side, they could have went with the 14mm hex and then had a 17mm adapter that slipped over the 14mm hex for your 8 scale wheels, or even 5th scale, because your 5th scale runs 17mm. And then they just could have put a 12mm hex that, or a ring like a MIP, where it just slides on. That way you can take the 12mm hex off or slide it on and tighten it on, screw it on, probably be best, and then put your wheel on with 12mm hex. If I was designing one compared to this, I think that's how I would do it myself. See, this one's going to be a little funkier because that is a 14 millimeter hex. So I do have to flip this around here. Let's see, so I think I'm going to have to take this off. I don't know how that's going to work. Let me try. $180. I don't think that's going to work the way I want it to. Well, maybe. That goes there. And then this goes on the inside. Yeah, that may be the way it goes. Probably a little tricky to do this way. That's for sure, especially these deep well tires. These are Traxxas Funny Cars. It's not the same thread. I think that's the problem. Yeah, too big. Okay. I'm going to that. Looks like it's the only way it goes on, but it sure seems like, unless I got that just as a, you can spin it from that side. Okay. Looks like that's the only way it goes. Interesting. So yeah, if I was doing the design of this, I could definitely see where I'd make, a few modifications to the overall piece to improve it, so to speak. Get this set so it's locked up tight. It doesn't, want to move around. So it seems like that's the only way it goes. That's not threaded, but it doesn't quite even get there to push push it tight. It kind of does, but it doesn't. Maybe a couple little rubber foot pieces, those push in rubber boots, just so it's got some slip resistance. So this, of course, that won't fit like that because of the way it's done. Made for us, to go through the rim, and then that will go on there. I guess that's how you're gonna do the bigger rims and tires. I was thinking these pieces here were to help set, but they're not. So, yeah, this is the only way to do it here, I guess. Now, I guess here, let me try something, because there is one thing I can do here. What did I do with those? Where did I put them? on there. Must be up here. Right there. It's got these GTEC adapters. They're a 12 hex to 14 millimeter hex, so you could run these rear funny car Traxxas Funny Car wheels on your 10 scales. I don't think that's in deep enough to get this way, is it? Oh, it is. It is. So if we did that, these are off eBay. Can I get in there and tighten? Not sure it's gonna work with that in there. Maybe. It did. Okay. Hey, Gene. Yeah, I've not had this one. Like I said here in the beginning of the other ones. Grab it here. Use the old rusty true blue Dubro prop balancer, and this thing works pretty good too. Actually, that's probably a good idea. Let me mount this other tire up. Let me grab this other hex too. Do a little push between the two, and I really think the ceramic bearings on that unit would make a difference. It's kind of seems like it'd be overkill, but just replacing the stock bearings that came with it with the ones that I had from the STRC setup was better. So this I'm going to slide on backwards. Yeah, no, let's put it on forward. It's got a good cone there. Deep enough, I should be able to get them without pinching. Yeah, this is what I've used this Dubro unit to balance tires when I was RCing, 10, 12 years ago. I got out of it about 2012. Too many other things going on. Not enough time. So, let's take a look. That's actually sitting on that Concepts. Nice. I can see it's not level though. I need to get that thing needs to set up right, because setting at an angle, it needs to be leveled to be true. And it'd be nice if they actually had these instead of just probably, I think, a screw going through them. They had them so you could adjust it and make it level, because that wouldn't be bad if you could adjust it up, lift up this side and get your, arm level, so your tire spinning level. Looks like it's got to come up and near quarter inch or better to get leveled out. Because when you're balancing a tire, that off level will cause it to, be out. And I gave a lighter spin on the Dubro unit as far as the tire goes as I did on this one. So let me find something. Yeah, that might actually be pretty good. Did a set of shocks last night, and this one was a little softer and it still had some bubbles in it, a little lower on fluid. So I filled that up, and I find my cap. Too much fluid now. Take a little bit out of this thing. A little bit of this tissue, suck a little bit out of it. There we go. It was a little too tight earlier, or loose, a little sloppier than the other side. So I'll put that over there. Okay. You see, it's still, now that the better bearings in it, though, it's still rocking back and forth. So that, you know, that'll show you the high and low spots. Well, it's just a light spin. That's really all you need when you're balancing. You don't need to give it a good old whip. Yeah, Mike, these are a nice balancer. 74 bucks it should be. About the only one I could find in stock anywhere around the whole entirety of the United States. I was almost ready to order one out of RC Mart, and had RC Mart over in China had the Exceed unit. I would have had that 3 weeks ago. And finding this one was kind of a drop in a bucket lucky. Comes the mail guy. So anyways, yeah, this is what I've used, you know, DeBro, and you can see it's, you know, it's still rocking that tire. This is a good old solid tried and true. You just want to be gentle putting it on. You got 2 sets of wheels in here that independently spin, and they are smooth. They are smooth wheels. They roll real well. And it, when you roll it, it's got a track on it. That's why this side's, you know, got a built-in collar, and that will push up against the wheel. And it's typically tracks always, mine always tracks to the left side. If I did it this way, why, as you see, watch what happens. It'll start running, and usually starts running this way, and then it wants to fall up. But that's actually spinning fairly decently. Now, something I made note of earlier, I'm going to do it again. Just a minute ago, you can see that tire was tracking a little wobble, and people are, you know, saying my rims are bad. Always double check, because it may not be the, yeah, that's what it is, an old DeBro. And this is an old one, probably from the 70s, 80s. Guy I bought it had like 20 years, and I got it in like early 2004, 2005. It works great. I balanced Baja 5B from HPI, the 5th scale tires on this thing, so it works great. But I thought I'd upgrade, you know, and really for the 25, 35 bucks that the DeBros are, so yeah, it did. It finally dropped over to the side. So for the cost that these things are, man, it's almost better just to buy one of these. I'm gonna, you know, honestly tell you, if you're looking to buy a, you know, wheel balancer, $35, you know, $75, and I had to, you know, replace the bearings in it because the bearings weren't that great. For it being, you know, JConcepts name, you think the quality would be a bit better, you know, because that's going to throw it off a little bit. It's going to put tension on the bearings on an angle, so that don't tighten up and get loaded up. There's, you know, they both got to be put on a you know, balanced level surface to work fully right. And I'm not bad, but I'm shaky here. This is kind of just a haphazard typing desk. Yeah, they both work out pretty good. Slow them down a little bit, or else we'll be here forever watching them spin. But yeah, for the 35 bucks, I think they are. If you're looking for a, you know, DeBro or a balancer, yeah, go with the DeBro. You're right, Mike. I'm gonna, after, you know, the 75 bucks for this. Now I don't have the Exceed. They offer 2, an 8 scale and a 10 scale. The Exceed unit has hexes, I'm assuming bearings in it, and it was like $23 and only $25 for the 8 scale unit. So they may be, maybe at, you know, I would think they're going to be at least as good as this, because, you know, for 74 bucks, 73, 74 bucks, you know, I hate to say it, but trying to throw my money in the States and US companies, but I'd expect a little more. I mean, that's got to be able to get straightened out. And I'm not sure if I've got something wrong, but I don't believe I do. That's got to be able to set level so that tire sets level so it actually rides on the bearings level, number one. Number two, the bearings that came with it were kind of crusty. They were little, you could feel them when you were rolling them. So I'm going to use bluetac. I think I have some around somewhere. I just couldn't find it to do these, and I'm not going to probably be running these tires at least anytime soon. I contemplated it, but I think I'm going to put them on my full scale build with that. It's kind of what I bought them for, anyways. So yeah, if you got a nice Dubro, and they're, at least the new ones are built as quality and heavy duty as this original one is, it's save your money, folks. Don't go out and buy the other balancers out there. And like I said in the original part of this video, I will not buy an NTG item. I don't care how well it is, how good it works, how nice it looks, how much in performance it improves. Won't buy one. So yeah, if you got to get something, get a thing. A lot of people are using modeling clay, a real tacky modeling clay. I've used bluetac in the past. If you only need a little bit of weight, I mean just a little, yeah, the golfer's weight. If you need just a little bit, I mean like a couple grams or half a gram, just put a little dab of T1000 on the back of it, or shoe goo. And because that will stick on, hold on tight, it won't flop off, and you could balance with just a little dab of shoe glue on the back of the inside of the rim. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you could use. There are a lot of people who actually use stick-on weights, and they'll slice them down with a knife and break them down into smaller chunks, and with a little tack, and stick those on the inside of the rims. But yeah, I bought this thing, and I had higher expectations than this. I was hoping it would work at least as well as my Dubro, but golly, with everything that's going on and how well the Dubro works, now this is the real test of the difference. Let me take this one off. That one side. Yeah, we'll go on this side on the pusher. Yeah, you can do that. Punch little holes. Do you add like a little screw to it, or do you just let the goo ooze through it like shoe goo or something? I usually use a little bit of either shoe goo or the T1000, just smear it on a little bit. Throw that on there. In the construction world, there's the newer instant tack. It's like used for putting up a bunch of other like side molding and plastic moldings and stuff. And that stuff's got a real stacky. It's not going to sling and fly and fling around. So that may not work too bad. But yeah, you really want to see the difference. Flip that around. Yeah. Now I'll put it on that way. It's always kind of matched up to that one. You get it squared off. This is the trick. There we go. How's that one? That one's good already. So pull this up. Yeah, there we go. Do a stop. Let's see. Hit that one with my pinky. This one with my index finger. Felt like my pinky got a little bit more push than my index finger actually did, but I mean, it's hard to argue. Your eyes, as they say, seeing is believing, and you got to watch that you're not dealing with a magician, because they can do some pretty interesting crap with distraction. But yeah, I mean, look, that thing's showing you a high and a low spot, and this one kind of rolls, and it barely shows anything. I mean, if you were going off the JConcepts here, this tire is in balance. Let's slow that down a little bit. So, is it? No, and that one's obviously not completely close, but it's a little out. But is this one in balance? Put it on the same exact way that one was. Yeah, for 74 bucks, JConcepts, I'm not thrilled, my friends. Sorry. You don't have to fidget with trying to get the tire to roll true and making you think your rim's all out of whack, because they were wiggy on this one until I got them straight. And no, that tire is not in balance. And this is after replacing, my bearings, putting in a better set of bearings from the NPRC bearings. They rolled smoother and were cleaner. If you put ceramic bearings in it, well, now you're throwing $10 extra, so now you're up to $85. It's still gonna flop forward, not be right, even though it may spin better. Yeah, I think I might do a return, because for damn near 100 bucks by the time you're done with taxes, it was free shipping. Expected. I mean, you can buy a motorcycle tire balancer for that price. I'm sorry. I can't be critical. I'm not gonna lie. I look at design issues and design flaws. It's just my nature. No, I'm not a designer. I don't do this for a living. I just do it by force of habit. Save your money and get the Dubro. Ain't gonna say anything else. Okay, yeah, I've seen most of the tape. I thought a lot of the tape is adhesive. Some of the stuff isn't, so I wasn't sure which one we were using. But yeah, that's what we used to do with the tire on the Bajas, because they're a little bit heavier. These lighter drag tires, I mean, not exactly light. I don't think this is any more heavy than my Hoosiers on the Pro lines. Yeah, you're right. It does work just fine. I was, kind of concerned about it being a little bit delicate and, bouncing around and, knocking. I don't want to knock the wheels up, because once you do that, it kind of trash. Let's take a look here. Come on. Somewhere it's going to sit here. There we go. 171.1 grams. There's 171.3. So yeah, pretty heavy, but not overly bad. But yeah, you're right, Mike. Just go with the Dubro. It works just fine. Let me do a quick spot, but I think the rolls are like $25 to $35 generally. I'm gonna run over to Aiming. They seem to be the most common mine go to. They have to have the better prices. Right that way. Let's go to prop balancer. There we go. 3649. And yeah, it looks pretty much the same. Doesn't look like it's any different than what I've got here. Same unit, except new. This one's, like I say, at least I've had it since 2004, 2006. And the guy I bought it from, he's had since like the early 80s. So this is an old unit. She's probably 40-ish years old and still works better. And probably back then it was only 10 bucks, 15 bucks to buy. So yeah, I have to say I am disappointed. I was expecting a lot higher quality with this JConcepts unit. I haven't tried Action Mike. I'm just getting into the no prep stuff. So I haven't done any kind of big break-ins or burnouts or anything like that. I haven't vented anything yet. I'm still getting them all set up and ready to roll. And finally, I'm in Michigan, so yesterday it was 60, today it's 46. And I've had frostbite a half a dozen times on my hands, so I don't do too well in the colder stuff. So because of that, yeah, it's go in. Oh, that one don't go there. That one goes here. Yeah, because of that, I haven't been out too much. I bought a used unit last year. No prep, Traxxas based LCG system. Got about 7 to 8, maybe 10, a dozen rips out in front of my place on the tar and chip road. Went, uh-oh, I'm gonna need something a little more here because this is gonna be too much fun. There we go. So yeah, I mean, I was really hoping for a improved unit. I'd trash those bearings and replace them, but yeah, I wish this was better. Yeah, you upstate New York, I bet you get just as much snow at times as we get here off Lake Effect. I'm about 20 minutes from Lake Michigan, so 18 miles. I'm sorry, not Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, wrong side of the state. Right here in the thumb area is where I'm at, so I'm kind of in this little bay area, what's called Saginaw Bay. We get a pretty good snow squall here and there. So yeah, if you're out looking for in the no prep game and you're trying to buy a quality tire balancer that's going to work and give you good results, buy an old DeBro, because you really I haven't tried any other ones, and like I said, I won't buy an NG, which I can't see they're any much different or higher quality than what the JConcepts would be. For the brand of JConcept, I really was expecting a much nicer engineered piece here. I think they went there with the engineering, but then lost it in the manufacturing. The sloppiness on the upright not staying out. It would be nice to have, a little, maybe a rubber foot or some on glass. Most people won't be on glass, but if you're on a plastic table, it's going to slide just as easily. So I would think a rubber bumper on the bottom would be a nice addition. Better bearings off the gate. And this is still, lacking. I would really say this needs ceramic bearings to actually be suitable for balancing, because you really need low resistance on these to be able to get a good balance. And as you've seen, the DeBro does just that. So unfortunately, I was hoping to be able to give a whopping rating. I buy all this stuff, so I don't care if people like what I say. I really did want to say, God, I love this thing, man. It's great. It's a little pricey, but it's excellent. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to either resell it or I might get a hold of the seller. I bought it through a hobby shop that sells on eBay as well. I may get a hold of the seller and say, no offense to you, but this is not a good quality item, and see what they'll do. Yeah, we've been, April, Mayflowers and all that stuff, so it's coming along. Feel bad about selling something that doesn't work that well, though. I mean, if I was working at JConcepts, this thing would be pulled off the shelves immediately, or it would only be sold for $20, $30, because it's all it's worth. So there it is. hard and true. Okay, my whole channel is called Perception Deception because I do a lot more than just RC, although I haven't done much of anything in the last 5-8 years. 6 years anyways. But yeah, this is I'm gonna give you true blue out of my heart on what I think of it. I wish it was better. You know, for 74 bucks, I really wish it was better. Well, like I said, yeah, a little bit of work, some shims here, help stand it up, ceramic bearings on the spindle, that's gonna improve it. Not sure what I would do about the legs. There's probably a dozen different adjustable type systems that you could buy and work on here because it's just a M3 bolt that goes through and most likely screws into the bottom. So you could put a little, you know, thing on there with a rubber boot, or maybe try to find a little rubber cap that fits over the feet just so it wasn't sliding around. I like how they engineered it. I think the engineers who designed it have the right idea. Well, I think where the failing here is totally in manufacturing. This thing is right, but it needs something else, a couple shims to be locked up 90 degrees. So it ain't kind of tipping forward a little bit. That ain't gonna help. You ain't gonna be able to balance the tire with the, you know, your balance, you know, thing out of kilter like this. It needs to be flat and level. Even 2 degrees, 1 degree is enough to throw it off a little bit. So I think they need to find a better manufacturer. If they found a better manufacturer, the price point would probably be right. As it is, 30 bucks. 5 at the tops. So yeah. I'll get a hold of Sierra Hobbies. I bought a few things from them. They got really good service, but they are slow to ship. You know, but that's, some places are like that. It's probably a guy, you know, retired, running a small hobby shop in his little hometown somewhere, got hooked up on eBay. So I don't mind waiting. It's just, you know, they got usually these in stock, or any tire balancer in the United States that I'm running to 1,000, you know, hobby shops across the state. I think they failed. You know, the failures in the manufacturing process on this. I'm not gonna totally blow JConcepts out of the water on it. They designed it. I'm pretty sure it's made over in Taiwan or China. Guys, JConcepts, if you ever find this video, see it, find another manufacturer or drop the price to half of what this is at least, because it's gonna need a little work. Needs better bearings. Should have ceramics on the spindle. That upright needs to be fixed. The sliding around part's minimal. That could be dealt with. Stick it on a cloth. That will deal with that. But the other two are critical to a tire balancing possession. So anyways, there we are. We're in an hour. I wanted to spend 10-15 minutes, then lost power and had to start twice. So we're an hour in. That's plenty enough on this. But yeah, if you're looking for a balancer, get it, bro. Make life easy for you. Because this thing, I've already been using it for many years to do tires and stuff. So yeah, Huddy's are the same, 80-90 bucks. I would hope that Huddy would have a better deal. I think Huddy's stuff is made in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. So the engineering, I would suspect, would be better. Now their tire balancer is only $27. It is in stock at A-Main. Does have a hex. It's handheld. I wonder if it's got a, hard to say, they don't give you a 360, but if it's got a screw end on the end of it, it might actually, let's take a look. There's one, gives a little better angle on the back side. Looks like there's a screw end there with bearings, so you might be able to thread that right on your JConcepts piece so it's stable. You know, think about the Huddy, yeah, beautiful. You just got to hold it in stock. At that rate, no biggie. Let's see, I'm actually on a European site. How much do they want for it? 2107 on the European site, but then they're shipping from Europe. This site ain't too bad. It's ERC, Euro RC, and I'm looking at a couple things because they have them in stock, and their shipping is like 17 bucks from, I think they're in the UK to here. So yeah, but yeah, when it comes to tire balancers, really not much reason to shy away from the Bro Pop balancer, in my opinion, because you know this thing works a champ and been turning for 35 years, and you can balance props too. Exactly. Yeah, but you know, that Huddy balancer I looked at was a hand unit, so it was 25 bucks. That's really not too bad. The Exceed unit I was looking at from RC Martin China, they're usually sold on eBay, but they're out of stock everywhere too here in the States. They were 23, 24 for the 10th scale, and 26, 25, 26, almost 27, I think, for the 8th scale. But this thing will do, I've done 5th scale tires on this. If you had a Felony or a Baja Ray, or I mean Super Baja Ray, or a DVXLE, or a Losi 5T, the gasser, or the HBI Baja, or the King Motors knockoffs. I've used this Dubrow tire balancer to do those. When I was doing the sand drags, I would balance my drag tires on paddles, because obviously a balanced paddle is a balanced paddle and it's going to perform better in the sand too. So yeah, this thing's been a workhorse, and for 35 bucks, ladies and gentlemen, that's the way to go in my opinion, till I find something different. So yeah, we'll deal with this and we'll see what happens, and I won't worry about an update. Like I said, I bought it, I paid for it, I'll sell it. Worst case scenario, it's going to be open, so I probably won't get full price out of it, but oh well. It is what it is. Unfortunately, sometimes that's the price you pay. So thanks a lot for hanging around, chatting around, liking, sharing, and subscribing if you would. I'll try to subscribe to your channel as well and grow the channels together, yours and mine. If you subscribe and you've got a channel you're putting stuff out on, let's kind of network this stuff and bring a fight to the propaganda pushed by YouTube in normal positions. So thanks for hanging out, folks. You guys have a good night. Later.